This past November, the Food System Food Equity Coalition of Archuleta County tested the use of a civic engagement tool called Participatory Budgeting. This process that hasn't been used full-scale anywhere else in the state of Colorado helped the Food Coalition decide which projects they were going to fund with a $20,000 grant. Drew Brown, lead consultant of Aduce Consulting, located in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, who led the process for the Food Coalition, explains what participatory budgeting is and what the benefits are to the community.
Participatory budgeting began in 1989 in Porto Alegre, Brazil. Essentially, all of these, what we refer to as CSOs, civil society organizations, all these different groups that were advocating on behalf of residents of the city, came together to think about how they could give more power to the people, so to speak. And that's like a really wonderful idea. But since then, this tool has also been used by the World Bank to increase transparency. The government is able to explain and help you understand why they make the decisions that they do and what their constraints are. You know, that there are things that you want to get done that they actually can't get done, or it takes a while to get it done. And that gives you the opportunity to say, well, maybe we should fix this process. The other benefit, and this is the education place that I come from, so the transparency is part of, citizenship learning. Like, you learn about how your government works. But you also learn how to have conversations with people about shared resources. We talk about things that matter to us and that we can work on together. And that helps develop really important skills that are critical for a democracy. Being able to deliberate and being able to have like a committed, principled conversation about what needs to happen with this pot of money that we share.
So why would the Food Coalition put their final budgeting decisions into the hands of community members who hadn't engaged with the group before and probably didn't understand food systems like they did?
From their perspective, I think they're very humble and very forward-looking in saying, we understand the food system. We understand the local food system. We understand, the various parts of that food system that we're really familiar with, whether it be with growers or, food pantries. But we already know all of that. There's a lot of stuff we don't know and that we can't figure out because we can't get anyone to talk about it, or they don't come to this meeting, or they don't know about this place. So, we want to put these resources in the hands of the people that are on the ground that might see things that we don't. That takes a lot of maturity and dedication on the part of the coalition.
For this particular participatory budgeting process, community members in Archuleta County were asked to rank their top project choices from a total of 9 projects. This meant that people who voted had to learn about all of the projects so they could make a weighted decision. Brown also mentioned they set up a small check on the system which required people to pre-register before they cast a ballot. This was a way for the technical team to ensure that the people who were voting cared enough about the process to register. Brown explains how it went and what they were able to accomplish.
We were trying to figure out, what if only 50 people, ultimately end up voting, and we had over 300 people register to vote. And over 200 people actually cast a ballot. And so I think it surpassed, because we were just trying to extend the conversation a little bit beyond the usual suspects. And I think it went way beyond. And I think that the structure of the voting, because you had to vote for 4 different proposals, it meant that no matter how much you were there, because your nephew or your aunt, told you that you had to vote for this proposal, you had to go look at the other proposals to figure out what you're going to vote for. So there are more people in the county that are at least aware of and hopefully engaged in the conversation around the local food system than there were before.
Brown was pleased with how the process went and hopes to apply this to other areas of local government and community-focused organizations in the future.
This is the first one I had heard about, and I did my due diligence that really from start to finish seemed like a regular PB process. So, and I think it's really interesting that it happened in a rural area. And I think our organization is interested in how a process like this can be utilized by communities in these areas, because I think that it helps with efficiency, transparency, trust in government, overall civic health.
We say kudos to the food system food equity of Archuleta County for their innovative use of this community engagement tool. If you would like to learn more about the Food Coalition and the projects that were funded through this process, visit their website at www.foodcoalition4archuleta.org. Thank you for watching this edition of Pagosa Local News.